I had to leave early,
Right.
but people don't realize I was kind of listening as I was leaving, and I heard a few people want to talk to me.
Oh, they
You
won't
know,
choke. They won't. They won't. They won't.
like like
I'll tell you
I
that
heard
right
a
now.
Philly. I heard Philly E threaten me. I think I heard
Hadley,
what's my
Hadley wanted a piece of you
yeah,
too.
Hadley. I got something. Where's Larry? I got some. So, man, I'm here today, y'all. I'm here today. If we get the time to talk to them, that's great. If not, I know they'll hold it off.
Oh, they're gonna wait till tomorrow. I told them on Friday we gonna get back with you. We get back with you on Friday. So they all keyed up, ready to go. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything about you. I didn't say. And look, I get it. I get it. You, hey. One hand claps the other. That's what I say.
That's right. That's right. We all in this together. Let's have a discussion. It's not nothing wrong with having a discussion among adults.
Having a discussion. I just want to let you know. Every time I see you, you remind me of Mara. I just want to say thank you again. That big fella, he getting the job done for us. He dunking from the back. He catches balls and dunks it from behind. Just want you to know that young man he's unselfish. There no egos on this team, and he's part of it. I just want you to know. Hey,
there you go, man.
That off blue. That what do you guys call that blue? What is that blue called?
I don't, baby. I don't know.
Like I was just blue through. I think it's 282. I think it's blue 282.
Blue 82.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they call our baby blue. I don't know.
Whatever they call it. He don't wear it no more. He wears the dark blue and the amazing blue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he went from light blue to dark blue.
Right. I mean, it feels good to be. And I don't care. Everybody says, James, how come we ain't number one? I don't care. If we in the top 5, I'm pretty happy. I'm just telling you, it feels.
But good. sometimes it's nice to be humble and lay low a little bit and because you're not a surprise anymore by being number 2. So
everybody sees you. Everybody saw what happened in Vegas. Everybody saw what you've done so far. I mean, everybody saw that Maryland game. You went up and down the floor. Maryland, they gave you what for too? They led part of that game.
But you know what? For some reasons, the arrows seem to be a little straighter and a little tougher when you're number 1. So just lay low and be humble at number 2, and come tournament time or whenever, just show out then. But no, there's nothing wrong with being number 2 for right now. This early in the year and showing out like they are, man. That's good.
No, I agree with you. I'm Dusty May. It's his second season here at Michigan. I just want to say this. When I was always worried about, are they going to be ready for the Big Ten? Because this is a rough and tumble league. They put hands on one another. I mean, when Michigan State plays, they practice with the tackling dummies. Big Sweet, they hitting him with them and everything like that. That's what you got to get ready for, because that's the kind of basketball Purdue plays. Michigan State plays, Indiana plays, Michigan better play. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we got to play that type of ball too. And I think this team is built this way now. I think it is.
Dusty May can go get some old Bad Boy film and show them the Bad Boys. That's Detroit. That's how we do it in Detroit when we win around. Wait a minute. I'm laughing because you know what's coming in my head is when we had Keith Byers on it. Pepper was not from Detroit. I mean, Pepper was from Detroit,
not from Michigan. He's not. He's in the city of Detroit. He ain't from Michigan. I'm like, wait a minute. Last time I checked, the city of Detroit is in Michigan. Are you kidding me?
That just popped in my head all of a sudden while I was thinking that, man. Well, some of the Piston bad boy can rub off on them.
Yeah, well, hey, dude, I'm all for that. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm excited. Almost a complete sellout for all the games now. You know what I'm saying?
Sell it out. You know what?
Crazy.
Usually, in a city, when one sport does well, it translates into the other sports, and it just creates a better environment. So maybe the basketball team will be the catalyst to have the football team come back around and be good, and be on top of the world.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? This is how when John Beilein was the coach, and when we didn't have a good football season, John Beilein would fill it up. His teams would fill it up. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Coach Beilein, he became. We had some good basketball coaches in our lifetime. Okay.
Right.
But John Beilein took that and doubled that. He was incredible when he got here from West Virginia. And
yes,
I was on that plane when we had to go get him at West Virginia. Yeah, we landed.
Oh, you were?
I was right there.
I knew I was messing with royalty. I
was on that plane.
So when we call you the unofficial mayor, man, just wave at the crowd and kiss baby, like mayors do. Okay, go with it, Jamie. Just roll with it.
I'm not. Look, I had an opportunity. That was an opportunity. I'm saying our athletic director at the time, Bill Martin, said, Jamie, I want you to go on that plane, get on that plane. And it had a big block M on the back, right?
See?
Like, you trying to set me up?
No, see.
Fly in and steal their coach. Think about this. We're going to fly in and steal their coach and then fly back out. All kinds of things could have happened.
I want to be like Jamie Morris when I go flying privately and everything.
That's crazy, man.
I knew you was. They tried to tell me how much Michigan royalty you are, but I'm starting to really. It's starting to really sink in now.
As I said earlier in what we were talking about. Hey, I know you guys heard me and Big Sweet getting after one another yesterday. That's the course of this. That happens during the course of doing radio, doing this thing, because you know what? You don't want everybody always agreeing with one another.
No.
We from different parts of the world. We everybody's got their way of doing things. So when I said not be fast, but don't get there too soon. That's my coach inside me. That was my coach. Hey, you get to that hole, but be fast, but don't get there too early.
Right. And my side was take your time, let the play develop, and then hit the hole.
Right. Exactly. Which we're saying the same thing, but we just got our ways of saying it. That's exactly what I'm saying. Look, you know what you need to do. We know exactly what we need to do. We know exactly what we're looking for. But how do you get there? That's the thing. How do you get there?
Right. That's true. And once again, I think we're saying the same thing. We're just our timelines are different.
No, you're right. You're right. We're off on timeline and everything like that. But you know what? We just look. I think that we want what's best for Michigan. Everybody wants
absolutely.
We don't want to do it too soon. We don't want to do it too late. And so there's always a fine middle, and we're in that. That's where you are right now. You don't want to lose players. And see, it's this era that we're in. The NIL.
I agree.
It's this era.
I agree.
It drives you crazy. This era is going to drive us crazy.
Well, let me explain a little bit my thinking sometimes too. I've been in a world, not collegiately, but on the professional world, where it's the same old names get hashed over, same old names transfer, and in this day and age, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of coaches are taking advantage of that. I mean. Let's look at Lane Kiffin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, his name comes up every time there's a job, and you're supposed to bring this guy into your organization and think the world of it and turn it around and be happy. And then the minute somebody else offers him $5 more, he's gone. I.e., what he did from Mississippi to LSU. You know, and so you're just tired of seeing the same names rehashed, and that's my opinion, especially in the NFL. Man, I sometimes new blood can be good. You know, it could be good. So, but do a thorough search, and at the end of your search, if that name is still at the top of your list, then go for it. Then do it. If that's the best you can come up with, do it. But don't do it because the media is all on one guy's name. And nowadays, to be honest, I don't really trust anybody, man. There's under the table deals going on and different things. Somebody could be paying the media to say his name all over the place or
No,
something.
you're right. Everybody wants to make predictions. Everybody wants to be. You know what? Here's the problem. We haven't gotten this. My son wants to always be the first person through the door. My son wants to always be the first person doing this. The first person. It's built in us. And some kids, not a lot of. No, I'm not saying all kids, but some kids just want to be first in everything.
Right. Right.
But the media, they always want to be the first. They want to be the first to air it out. They want to, even if they're slightly wrong, Big Sweet, they still want to be the first to have. Right. We put it out there. We're the ones that put it out there.
And you know what? And since we were talking yesterday, both pretty eminently about our stance. I was doing a little investigation, a little thought, looking at various records of some of these names that are coming up in some of these places. And, I don't think I saw one that can guarantee you a championship, so the coaches kind of have they kind of own it right now where, Lane Kiffin's probably the best example of what can happen. A coach gets on here on Wednesday and says, well, I'm committed to the university. I signed a deal 2 years ago, and you let the next somebody else offer him, $500,000 more. He's gone, or something more. He's gone,
Mm-hmm.
and he's lied to these kids. Let's just make it a free fall for all for what it is, and quit trying to act like saints and that whole thing. Just understand. I'd rather a coach tell me he's greedy, and I'm gonna make more money for my family at all costs. I'd rather a coach say that than I'm stuck here. I'm at the university. I'm committed to this university and sign a contract with somebody else next week. So
you ain't got the art of, you ain't got the art of coaching. You got to say, I'm here for the rest of my life. I'm going to be here. I'm proud to be here. This is the college of my choice. I chose to come out here and be a part of it. Oh, I'm sorry. Big Sweet, we got to go to a break. I'm sorry. I didn't even look at the clock. I've been trying to get you
no
on.
problem. Yeah, let's go.
To a break.
It's a fun day.
It is. Hey, I even messed up the day. I thought it was Thursday. So don't mind me. You're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050. I'm crazy. I said, Derek, this is Thursday. I'm like, he goes, J-Mo, no, it's Wednesday.
No, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, it is Wednesday.
Yeah.
I got my days all mixed up.
Well, man, you got a little 47 degrees day, and you done lost your mind.
Dude, it's nice out. It's gonna melt, but everything changes overnight. If it ain't, it's gonna rain and it's gonna freeze up, and I'm gonna slip. I'm gonna break my ass. I know that.
I hate it when it's that black ice, man. And
I'll be right back.
Yep. Huh? On a commercial break.
So glad.
This is the M Zone.
Of course, Derek Laughlin in on the big ones and twos, and you got Big Sweet Larry Lee. What's up, man? You good? Hey,
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's
the sun's really coming through your house today, man. You see all that
yeah,
light?
man. Yeah, see that light? It's a
We
beautiful
don't
thing.
have that kind of sun. I'm telling you that right there.
Vitamin D.
So wait a minute, let me get this right. I want to tell America. I want to let them know. So this man travels from from LA back out to when he's do I call you a snowbird? Is that a snowbird?
I'll take that. Yes, I'll take that.
So when it snows, you go west.
So, snowbirds, by most definitions in Michigan, when you leave Michigan during the winter, they go to Florida.
You're right.
Most of them go to Florida.
Right.
Some go to Arizona.
Okay.
And very few go to LA. I'm one of the very few that come to LA. But LA is a part of my history.
Right. Yes.
And and LA is an abbreviation for Larry. And it's my town. It's my town. So plus family. Family and everything. So my wife and I decided a couple of years ago. Let's go out and be with family and get out of this cold and everything. Plus, I used to have sweet feet, man. I was a dancing bear, could moonwalk and crip walk and all that. I can't do none of that no more with these bad feet, man. So I can't be walking on the ice and all that kind of stuff like I used to, man. So I'm blessed to be able to get out of Dodge and come out here and then come back to Detroit for the summer with the band and play a lot of summer gigs. And when the band's playing during the winter, most of the time I'll fly back for a one-off, and we aren't that busy right now, band-wise. So it works out great, man. It's a great scenario. Now I see what the people in Michigan, the snowbirds in Michigan that go to Florida and everything. I see what's going on, man. It's great.
No, I like it. I've heard of people going south for the winter. That's a snowbird thing. But then when you do that going across the other way, when you going across, I'm like, wow. And then you go the southern route too, because you don't want to hit no wind, that winter that's coming up that's on the northern side.
Exactly, and so I become the weatherman and try to diagnose. There's two routes you can take. You can take the old Route 66, go through Amarillo, Texas, and you go through Flagstaff, Arizona, and that kind of thing. So that's a great route if the weather's okay. But if the weather's not good in Flagstaff, Arizona, and Albuquerque, New Mexico, and stuff, you take the southern route. And you go down. I go down through Phoenix and El Paso, and then come on up through, down the Southern California way, and come on up. So this year, I know it depends too. I usually do it in my truck or vehicle, but this year I did it in the RV, and I really want to make sure that the weather's okay doing it in the RV. I'm not going to go through that mountain region and all that in the RV. So, man, yeah, I did it this time because the weather was good. The weather was good.
Okay. All right. So Jim Harbaugh was on the Dan Patrick Show yesterday, and he had heard from Sharon Moore. Sharon Moore and him spoke, or somehow. Harbaugh is now Jim Harbaugh is the Los Angeles Chargers. It's hard for me to even say that. I want to say San Diego so bad.
I know. I know.
He's the Chargers head coach, and he's the former Michigan football coach. And he said, I still don't have my head wrapped around it. Dan, Harbaugh said during the Tuesday appearance, and he said it's a tragedy, and I'm praying for all concerned. I love my alma mater. I love Michigan, but I owe it to the Chargers right now because this is the team that I'm working for right now. I'd be doing a disservice if I wasn't putting all my focus on the next game, which I totally understand that. Harbaugh also confirmed that he's not involved in the Michigan's coaches search. Yeah, everybody wants to know if he's involved in the coaches search. You know that.
Right.
His opinion or something like that. No, I'm not, said Harbaugh. All focus on the Dallas Cowboys. Moore was a member of Harbaugh's staff with the Wolverines in 2018 until he left it to become the head coach of the Chargers in 2024. Harbaugh revealed that he has texts with Moore in the wake of the firing, providing some personal guidance. So, I mean, that's got to be tough for Jim to see what.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Now, was Sharon, happened to be just assistant coach that Jim had hired, that kind of thing, or was he kind of like a protege?
No, well, he became a protege because what happened was he came in for the tight end job. Okay.
Right.
And Jim loves guys that want to, move furniture around and stuff like that. So Sharon got up and said, "This is what I want my tight ends to do." And he had guys in the room, and he was showing Harbaugh how he would teach him the block and everything like that.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. He didn't have to go back to Central Michigan. I'll tell you that.
Right. I got you. It worked.
Jim loved everything about him. So when the offensive line job opened up 3 years later, they gave Sharon Moore the offensive line job. You know what I'm saying? And that's the day of smash. We want to smash every time we go in there. We run that ball. Sharon is a good. I'm gonna say this. He is a good offensive line coach. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
When our offensive coordinator moved on, Jim decided to make Sharon, and I think it was our quarterback coach made him a co-offensive coordinators, and then his name escapes me right now. But eventually Matt Weiss was the other coordinator coach, right? And then Matt got in some trouble. Sharon became the singular offensive coordinator.
Gotcha. Well,
he become that guy. And then he became his protege. They both got suspended, and they watched the game from afar. For one game, because Sharon had to sit out a year. A game, one game.
And that's what's kind of sad about it is that Sharon, offensive line coach, good offensive line coach, and was trying to prove himself as a good head coach, and would had a winning record, and so that's the sad part about it, that he was trying to develop his future there, and and who knows what potential could have been there as a coach on the up and coming ranks and that kind of thing. So, well, that was good. Harbaugh was being honest about it and good, and that's all he could really say. You know
what? Let's get into it. Was Sharon ready to be the head coach at Michigan? Do you think?
I don't think so. No. And then, but to be honest, I wasn't digging into it or investigating it like I would have, if I was an executive, like when I was with the Lions, when, we had to do various things. I did not take it to that depths, but I will say this, and I did say it on the air and everything. After getting to meet him, at our press conference, we met him, and getting to talk to him, nice young man, but I did feel a little softness, and when I said that, everybody, our listening audience,
be careful. Same Michigan people still listening. I'm just letting you know.
they let me know that they didn't like me calling their coach soft, and I wasn't meaning soft as a man. I was saying soft in the tradition of the University of Michigan head football coach. I mean, from Bo Schembechlers to Lloyd Carrs and what's the name? Gary Moeller, man.
But don't you think times have changed?
They have, and that kind of old school philosophy doesn't necessarily work anymore.
Right.
But on the other hand, there's still a certain amount of adjustments you must make, and a certain amount of discipline you must have. And we were seeing, and I think I've even heard you Michiganders say that you saw some things Thomas Kleins, and you guys have seen things
Mhm.
that have gone on in the Michigan football during a game that you never seen, or don't seem like they were corrected, or don't seem like they were addressed, and maybe that was some of the purpose of my soft comment.
Well, the reason why I say this is, I mean, would you tell me the rough and tumblers of college football now? I know you're not a big college football guy, but I'll give you some names. I mean,
Okay,
I'll say this name because it's all over the place. Is Caleb DeBoer? Is he a hard coach?
I have seen some of his interviews in which he has said some tough things, and not sugarcoat some things. And then where was he before? Washington. He was
He was
at
at
Washington,
Washington. Yes.
right? And so
I'll give you another one. Deion Sanders. What is he?
you know what? I think he's today's coach, the kind of coach that he's not cursing kids out or anything like that, but he's not accepting mediocrity. I mean, he'll talk to him about life more than football, and address some things. You've heard it. You've seen on the internet where he talks about, if you don't go to class, you don't
No, you're
receive
right.
this.
Yes.
If you don't do this, if you don't go to class, no hoodies, no sandals or whatever. That's what I'm talking about. Not just having everything okay and hunky dory. I'm not saying he's a tough coach. No, he's not out there cursing kids out or anything like that. But he does address fallacies. So I think that's what the coach has to be like today. No matter Deion, that's our former player kind of guy, good coach. But that's what it's all about, man. It's about
Jim Harbaugh. It's Jim Harbaugh. Is he soft?
No, not in my opinion.
Okay, I'm asking. I'm throwing coaches at you.
Jim Harbaugh. What I think I have seen out of Jim Harbaugh is growth when it comes to growth to that, and softening up and addressing things in a different manner. And who's got it better than us? Nobody. And
Jim wanted the challenge. He wanted to challenge the SEC when he first got here. He went down there and had camps himself. And then NCAA had the band nose. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he made adjustments. Like, if I remember one year, didn't he shift and got a bunch of younger, more what can I say, urban coaches, on his staff?
You're right. He changed some things up. How about Marcus Freeman? Is he soft?
I don't think so. I think Marcus Freeman. So when I say soft, we talked about this not from the coach's position, but in general. When you hold a title, when you're a leader, when you're a boss, and you have subordinates, man, there's just certain things that come with the job that you have to do. You can't skirt them. You can't skirt. If somebody's doing wrong, you have to address it. Sometimes you got to look a guy in the eye and say the tough things. You got to address something. That comes with the title. And I don't see a lot of guys with titles nowadays in a lot of different higher up titles being that way. And I learned something years ago. I forget where I learned it from, but they say you got to inspect what you expect.
Right.
Okay, now you've got the title. Now you're the athletic director. You're the head coach, or you're the general manager. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, and you might do a good job at acquiring talent, or you might do a good job at this or that. But part of the job is too, sometimes you got to make tough decisions and deliver them to your subordinates, and look them in the eye and having a discussion you might not want to have. I mean, believe it or not, it's nowhere on the same level. But I'm a band leader. I'm a band leader of 10, 11 folks. And sometimes I got to look in the eye and tell them the tough things. And this is just a band. This is just supposedly a fun item. But I got to make decisions for the whole and not for certain individuals. And then certain individuals might be going through something or another. And I got to be compassionate enough to be able to deal with them on an individual basis. But I got to keep the whole in mind. And sometimes I got to say and do the tough things to do that. And on the other hand, part of my job is negotiating these deals for shows and everything. I can't let everybody, I gotta look them in the eye and say the tough things sometimes. And I mean, it's just part of being a boss. Sometimes nowadays I just feel a lot of bosses aren't bosses.
Well, they don't act like leaders because I mean, temperature's always down now. You don't want to yell you don't want to be looked at as a yeller and screamer and all of those things and everything like that. I get it. And but you're right. Somebody's got to be in command of the ship.
You're right. And the other thing, there's another thing that I think is a lost art today. And that's conflict resolution.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know how. That's part of it. They don't know how to look each other in the eye and come up. When did having a difference of opinion become hate?
That's a true statement.
Back in the day, there was we had a lot of difference of opinions, but that don't mean I hate you. That don't mean we can't talk this out or look at how many times growing up you got in a fight with somebody and y'all end up being best friends after the fight.
No, you're right. You're right. That's a true statement.
There was a fight.
Right. Well, we need to go to a break. I need to check in on the Angel. She's always working, but I'm hoping that we can get her on today and see what she's got going and what she's looking out for.
You mean my home girl?
Your home girl. I got to see. She said maybe Jamie, but she's got an interview. She's conducting an interview with the players, so I don't want to be in the way. But I'm gonna check in on her and see if we can get the Angel of the Big House on the other side.
All right.
You're listening to the M Zone. Continue to do so. We're live. If you want to catch us on the on YouTube, all over the place. So come on with it. You're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050. I don't know why the Last Chance U guys in an article over Bryce Underwood reacts to Michigan's teammate entering the transfer portal. Don't know why.
That so far that's been such a positive. There's only been one guy,
right?
And he was the backup quarterback that wasn't going to play anyway.
No, he wasn't. He was getting ready to get passed as the backup quarterback. That's what I'm saying. Really, you didn't. You right now they holding steady. They holding steady.
Yes, they are.
So look, we'll talk about that more.
All right.
Let me see if I can get Angelique, everybody. If I had my whatchamacallit. Where is it? Where is my? I don't know where it is. Don't know where it is. Where's my headphones? Oh, they're in my side pocket. Sorry. I see you, Angelique. I see you signed in.
Oh, see, now this is the only reason I'm doing this.
There's
My
Larry.
home girl.
Hey, I begged him to come on today too.
What's up, Angelique?
Oh, I've been better.
Yeah,
I
wait
mean,
a minute.
this is like Christmas covering Michigan every year.
I
So
was
they
gonna
ruined
say,
my holidays.
Hey,
There's-
remember you used to have Jim Harbaugh and you never took a break because you never knew what he was going to do. Is he going pro? Isn't he going pro? Is he going pro? Or isn't he going pro? Right?
Yeah, no, you're
What
right.
do we call it? Hardballism or what do we call that?
Oh, I called it Harbuary.
Harbuary. That was good.
Well, there's no shortage of news going on right now.
What will you call this one, Angelique? What will you say about this one?
About what?
What will you call this
Oh.
one?
I don't know. I got to think about this.
You got to get a catchy phrase. Keep it clean. I'm just messing with
I
you.
know. I mean, I think you can only get kind of not good.
Yeah, I got you. Hey. So I buy these pumpkin loaves for CJ every morning when I go to Starbucks, right? And I go to Starbucks at like 5:15 in the morning.
You're crazy.
And
I know.
well, I walked today too, by the way. I just want you to know.
Yeah, it's a balmy 47 degrees today.
The boss doesn't like the pumpkin bread, so she doesn't let him look over in that area where I put it.
It's bad. Yuck.
So,
Yuck.
you know, I look. I'm just trying to do it. So I had to bring one. I've got stacked 3 of them in there, and I got one of those air pressure.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So they don't get moldy or anything. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that way. So
It sucks
Yeah.
all the air out.
brought one of the loaves from 3 days ago. It still feels fresh. I
Well,
just brought it to throw it away.
I've thought about getting one of those. You think it's worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about that too.
sponge thing, it'll be good.
I mean, people use it for their clothes when they're packing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
cool.
I don't know.
I'm ready, bro.
This is the M Zone.
And welcome back to the M Zone. Jamie Morris, my man Derek Laughlin on the other side of the glass doing the ones and twos. You got Larry Lee on the big side of the coast. He's in the West Coast, baby. LA.
Hollywood.
Joining us is the angel of the big house. She had a lot to do now. I mean, wait a minute. Angelique, you went from bowl preparations with Sharon Moore, and then at the end of the week, you went to the arraignment. I mean, different for you.
It ain't
mean,
funny.
how
I don't know
does-
why I laugh.
I'm sorry. What does that go? How's that feeling going through that?
Well, I did not physically go to the courthouse because we had our news reporter there.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, just dealing with this from afar, all I could think about, the only thing I could find comparable, and it was a different era, so no social media, was the whole Gary Moeller episode.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, his drunken out, episode at the Excalibur, the former restaurant, the Excalibur. So it feels a little bit like that on those lines. But this is certainly took on a whole new level with the criminal activity and then being in prison and then seeing him arraigned. It's all been very surreal. But this is, I think he's the 6th head coach I've covered. So now I'm eagerly awaiting the 7th head coach to cover. But yeah, this has been difficult. I mean, to cover, and there's all different angles, and it's just but now you're focused on the players going to the bowl game. That's They leave on the 26th,
Right.
and Michigan is searching for a new coach. So a lot going on. Always. Merry
Girl, I got a question,
Happy
Angelique.
Hanukkah.
I got a question. Had that scenario reached underground with the media? Were y'all kind of tipped in or had an idea that something like that was going on?
You mean about Sharon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look,
Well,
okay.
it wasn't, I've heard a lot of people say this, and I'm saying it. This was not a secret. It was known
I guess
through
that's
the
what I'm
town,
asking.
Ann Arbor. So, did you know of it, Angelique, or did you hear of it?
I think there's a difference, like knowing and hearing about something. And yes, from 2022, I heard a couple players saying that they suspected something was going on there, but no one knew. I mean, there was no no one's following them home and getting pictures and evidence.
Right. Right.
And frankly, that was in the back of my mind, Jamie, when we would have these conversations, before he was hired, that if something like this is true and I can't prove it, I think it's very ridiculous when people say, well, if you heard about it, why didn't you do? Yeah, what are you going to? Oh, hey, are you having an affair? Are you having an affair?
Right.
They're going to do what they did with that first investigation, in-house investigation, when they both denied. So, but in the back of my mind, that was there. And that's when I was telling you in December 23, yeah, and even in January when I got the job, I didn't agree with it because a young guy, first of all, not a lot of experience in the coaching world. And I kept going back to didn't have a huge network of coaches. I just thought, and then with that in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't know what his character is. You assume. And that's the other thing. People can say, even with the Matt Weiss thing, well, nice vetting. Well, how are you going to find this stuff out? Hey, do you hack email? I just want to double check. Or are you having any affairs that, we should know about? That's hard stuff to vet. But, but you can have a lot of conversations with people. If they had maybe exit interviews with players, I don't know if that would have come to light then.
Yeah.
Don't know.
That's the tough thing, Angelique. You're right. I mean, look, they did vet him, and when he came from Central, right? And but they're saying that he did have activity up there. He did some things. He did, but it wasn't. It made it through the vetting. They didn't tell him through the vetting, right?
Well, yes, but let's remember, Michigan changed its whoever they're using, their outside firm, once the Shemi Schembechler situation happened. Then they said, okay, they're changing because things are slipping through the or through the cracks, pardon me. So, who knows how good their vetting process was before. It certainly doesn't seem like it was very good. But again, I guess you could. If someone is looking at this, you could hear rumors and you say, look, to a prospective employer, we're hearing rumors. We don't have proof.
No, you're right.
But is that fair? I don't know what's fair. Like you don't have proof of something. It's gossip, essentially. And is that fair? So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I just, when a couple players said that they thought they recognized something, that seemed informed.
Yeah, you believe me, they know. I mean, they're these young men are quite observant. That's not this particular scenario, but that's one of the things I used to always preach when I was at the Lions to our coaches and everything, was that, look, man, these guys they're the best investigators in the world. Athletes dissect everything. They dissect how you talk to them. They dissect what's going on. They dissect how you walk in the locker room. They're the best investigators on the planet. Jamie, I think you'll agree with. Man, we dissect everything. Okay, his coach came in today. Is he? How's he gonna treat me today? Why am I on the third team? Why am I not on the second team? They dissect everything. So you're not getting anything past players. You really aren't. So that's why you have to walk a straight line and have integrity, because the minute you don't, they pick it right up. They know. They know, and
Absolutely.
a lot of these teams' issues aren't necessarily X's and O's. It
Mhm.
might be something that can't be said out in public.
Yeah,
You
I mean, if
know?
your players know that and they don't respect that behavior, then you're going
Right.
to lose your team.
Yes.
Exactly.
And,
Exa-
you know, it is,
Well,
and we talked about this even before. We talked about what looked like a lack of discipline on the sideline,
Right.
you know, and people were critical of Schroen and the arrow pulling and getting, you know, there were a lot of there was a lot of immaturity there, and but the players, you know, they know what they respect and who they respect, and
Exactly.
you know, and we talked about the whole fine line between a player's coach and a player's friend.
Right.
Right.
And he really was trying to be the latter. And you know, you can't do that. You both were players. I find it hard to believe you would have respected your coaches if they were like, hey, Jamie, you know, oh, hey, sorry, you fumbled a couple times. That was okay. You know, that's it. You can't do that. Not that you ever fumbled, Jamie.
Oh, many a times, Angelique. Don't worry. Many a times.
Well, that's kind of what we were discussing before you came on the air. You know, Jamie threw a couple of names at me, but we were talking about the difference in how to coach these young men today versus, you know, how now we were employees. When they said jump, we had to say how high.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
but that's not the case anymore. Now these guys, you gotta take into account what they, especially your top 2 or 3 players, they're your business partners. You know, so you better take into account what they're saying. Don't mean you give in and you know, let them run, the inmates run the asylum. But
Right.
on the other hand, you know, that's a fine line, as you said, Angelique, on how to make sure you can discipline your players or say the tough thing to your players and still get their, that's a lost art. And I ain't patting myself on the back, but I like to think if you talk to any of the Lions players from my era, they will tell you, Big Sweet, man, Big Sweet will shoot us straight. Big Sweet will jump down our throat when he had to, and Big Sweet will give us a kiss on the cheek when he had to, you know. So I prided myself on walking, being truthful and walking that line with those guys, you know.
That's the point, Larry. I mean, it's like I've talked to a couple coaches before about, and it is about being straight with the players because again, they are not dumb. They know they can pick up on things, and they want to know the truth. They don't want to say, you don't want the coach to say, "Oh, yeah, you're on 4th string," and then not explain why. I mean, you got to tell somebody. You got to say, you are not doing this well enough. You have to work on this instead of, maybe you'll work it out. You'll work your way back. You know, you just got to be straight with them.
Okay, Angelique, me and Big Sweet went at it yesterday about how the coaching carousel should go. Michigan should be out there right now. And Big Sweet is like, take your time. Take your time. Do not, just because you're on I'm all about the NIL. We let these players go. Some of them are going to leave. You're going to leave.
Right.
But I don't want too many to leave. You need the core group to stay together. So, I mean, when you assess this, what are you hearing about coaching? Are they out there offering or interviewing, or is the firm still taking in resumes?
No, the firm has been doing its work, its early work, you know, getting in and now they start the interview process.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm not sure. I think I'm right in the middle. I don't think you have to rush it, but I think you need to get it, you know, before the portal opens. So that's January 2nd.
Right.
I think it's probably a good idea to have somebody in place. And it's for some of these other coaches who have extensions at their current jobs waiting for them to sign. How long do they keep putting them off? But it's not like they're going to get the rug pulled out from under them either. So it's not like
is Michigan going to pay a buyout? Is Michigan going to have to pay a buyout to get some of these coaches that they're looking at?
Yeah, $4 or $5 million. I mean, nothing's like, it doesn't look like anything's really shockingly large. And look, I mean, I don't think it's about now. I think Michigan is willing to spend, and They are.
Difference. That's a difference.
That's a difference. And, they're talking about really boosting their NIL and getting it to a level that they're going to say, look, you're going to have 35 million, 36 million, whatever it is to work on this roster. So, I think, everyone was reading into all these comments from DeBoer and Dillingham. Oh, that means they're staying. I'm like, have you ever listened to coaches talk?
Preach, Angelique.
Angelique. Everybody
talked about that.
Everybody threw their my Alabama. I threw my Alabama hat in the air and said, "What the heck is going on?" Because Alabama's my second favorite team.
Okay, what's he supposed to say? He is preparing his team. He put the statement out on Sunday, a day before he knew he was going to meet with media and he was going to get peppered with questions. And then he has to prepare his team for this game on Friday. So I get it. But if you parse the words, they never ever say, "No, I'm not interested in Michigan."
It's a lie.
They never say that. And
that's
the moment they say, when the reporter says, "Do you expect to be here in 2026?" Well, yes, they expect to be in this moment. They expect to be there.
You know what I would respect more? I know I'm goofy. I'd respect the coach more saying, "Well, look, every time I get a chance to earn a better living for me and my family, I'm going to take it." So versus the Lane Kiffin who tells you 1 minute, I'm in the college playoff championship with one of my teams, and I'm acting like I'm not, I'm happy and everything. Then I'm gonna next week go for because of that scenario. Coaches are WHOREESs, and and so you have to. I mean, you can't trust them. So why? So and the other thing I brought up, Angelique, that everybody seems to not like about me and my taking the time scenario is the same old names come up every time there's a job. It's the same five names that float around.
He don't like retreads.
The same five names that float around. Do some homework. Do your work and maybe find the next up and coming superstar.
Yeah.
Do some homework, do some work instead of, and you know what? I even take it this far. If the money's that's being tossed around nowadays, I don't trust anybody. So when I say that, but I mean, these coaches making $5, $8, $10 million a year. You know what? I call it PR. I take $1 million of that dollar and go pay half the media to throw my name out there all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, that's what these agents are doing too. They're like Tommy Rees, right away.
Yeah, his agent.
Come on. That wasn't Michigan expressing interest in Tommy Rees. That's his agent putting his name out there. In part because let's say Kalen DeBoer, let's say he came to Michigan. You don't think Tommy Rees doesn't want in Alabama?
Right.
I mean, exactly.
He wants to coach him. Right.
I get it. There. So that's all this maneuvering.
As a former executive, I know all of that. So when I speak, I'm talking like that, and the general public doesn't necessarily understand, the level that I'm speaking about. And I see those things going on all the time. I've seen them go on all the time. And I don't trust anybody anymore. I really don't.
No, you shouldn't. I mean, and never listen to these coaches talk. I mean, don't sit there and try to make a final definitive. There's nothing definitive about anything these coaches are saying right now.
Nothing. I spelled it out. I spelled it out.
Yes, you did.
And I gotta ask you this question before we leave. I mean, I got nothing against Biff Poggi, but he made it sound like this team feels betrayed. This team feels this way. He's got to do a lot of hugging. He's got to do a lot of, all of those things. Is this Michigan football? I mean, really? They're used. I'm going to say this. They know how to miss their coach. I mean, they've seen their coaches suspended enough times. Even Jim Harbaugh was suspended. So this team can get prepared. They know if we got a coach missing, we can do this, right?
Are you talking about Biff as an interim for a year or something?
I'm talking about Biff being the way Biff is talking. Biff is saying to a lot of people he's talking, trying to talk. He wants the job.
Of course he wants the job. But this is interesting because I asked him after the first game, he was filled in for Sharon. I said, do you want to be a head coach again? He said, no. And, and I didn't quite believe that, but he's just saying, because I don't think he wanted to look like he wanted to take this job.
Right.
But look, of course he does. But Biff got fired like 4 games into his second year at Charlotte. What Biff is doing right now is a good thing. It's
a great thing.
He's talking to the parents. It's not just one time. He's keeping in touch with them. He's making sure they understand what's going on. And I get it, but he is not Michigan's answer for a head coach. I mean, not even for a year.
I'm just saying he's a filler. Right now, he's
a placeholder right now.
So, but you don't think Ward would look at it as, okay, we need to give ourselves some time. Maybe Biff can hold back some of these guys that are thinking to go elsewhere. I'm just saying. Or is that not the game plan? Ward's going to find somebody and find them rather soon.
Ward has to find somebody.
Okay.
I mean, that's his charge right now. And you know what? He's got to land, to me, a home run guy to kind of make up for what he hiring Sharon. I really do in this situation.
Okay.
And I'm not bashing Biff, but this is not he's doing what he should be doing right now. I actually, the whole comment about betrayed, I wasn't sure. Well, what was he saying? Sharon betrayed him? I felt like, like that was a little unnecessary at that point. Like just talk about the players. I don't know if they feel betrayed or not, but maybe they do. But I think just do your job, keep the players in place, try to keep them as happy as possible, get ready for this bowl game, and have the place ready for the next head coach. That's his role. Biff's role. And Sean McGee has a role as a general manager, making sure that promises of money are fulfilled.
Right.
And, there's all these moving parts now. It's so different than it used to be. When a coach left, the players, met, hey, we got to stick together. And then the next coach comes in. Usually it's the strength coach comes in first to rally them, etc. And it's a different world now. But look, they've got someone they trust. The players trust in Biff right now there. And but no, I mean, sure. But Ward has to make.
I had to ask because a lot of people are saying that Biff is, he's calling parents, he's calling recruits, he's calling everybody, and he's telling people he's going to be there. He's going to be there. Now,
maybe he will.
That's at the discretion of the new coach, right?
Well, sure. Are you kidding?
I'm making sure.
Yeah, of course. Of course. All these positions are at the discretion of the next head coach. But if you bring in like a Dillingham or somebody who, and I kind of like that, I talked to Dave Ridpath the other night. He's a professor of sports business at OU. And he was talking about they need to make this hire not a Michigan man hire. It's time to move on from that for now.
Who said that? Big Three, who said that? We got
Jamie said that. Jamie did say that.
The tree, the Harbaugh tree needs to come down. It's time for it to come down. We can still.
You need to cleanse.
Yes, but we need to cleanse it.
Yes.
You know what?
You do.
And I said the same thing that you're somewhat saying. Jamie and I are pretty much saying the same thing. Our timeline is just different. I'm saying slow your roll a little bit, Michigan. Get determine exactly the kind of guy you want, and then vet and go through your whole process or whatever, and don't just accept the names of these same old guys that come around every time there's an opening. The same names come up. Do some homework, do some vetting.
Or do we just call Sexton the agent because he's got all the big time?
Everybody.
I'm just saying he's got all the coaches. Why? I'm not gonna go off.
I get it, but the only thing I have, Larry, is yes, it would be great. I think the last hire they need, and they thought they did. They identified a young up and comer in Sharon. Now I think Michigan needs stability. I think they need someone. I'm not going to say this is who I think is going to do it, but I think they need some, like Kalen DeBoer.
I think we all agree that they got to get it right this time.
Yes. Yes.
Right. No,
Absolutely.
agreed. We can't.
Absolutely.
We don't have room to second guess. This one's a big one now.
Right.
I agree. They got to get it right, and to take it a step further, instead of going out and getting that name or that guy, and then 2 years from now, 3 years from now, when you got to pay some crazy buyout because you went after the hottest name out there and he didn't pan out. None of them guarantees you a championship.
Nope. That's up to
Just because you hired a name coach like DeBoer, who came from Washington, went to Alabama, that don't mean he's going to win you a championship.
And he was offensive coordinator here in Washtenaw County over at Eastern Michigan. He's got ties here.
I mean, I think the only one you can guarantee, Larry, would be bringing Nick Saban back. I think that's the only person you can say this guy would win a national championship. That's it.
Other than that,
so everybody else is going to be a risk. I mean,
other than that, slow your roll, vet, and get the right guy you think will be here for several years.
Agree.
Yeah. I mean, look, I said DeBoer from 2 years ago, December 23. I said first call should be Kalen DeBoer. And part of it was he has some time. He's been in the Big Ten. I mean, Indiana and then Washington. Right. But and he was at Eastern, and his offensive coordinator is married to a woman from this area. So I got that right. So DeBoer's wife.
You did.
The one thing that blows my theory, that I'll be honest to admit, is that maybe Michigan is a different scenario. If a coach lands Michigan, he might not want to go somewhere else.
It's different.
Like for instance, I keep using Lane Kiffin. He's at Mississippi in the championship tournament, and he decides to go to another Michigan. Because it's Michigan, that might be different. That I'm not taking into account, in my opinion, is that Michigan, is the creme de la creme of a lot of coaching jobs, and you get there. There's nowhere else to go up.
It's a destination. It is.
I mean, look, I went to the University of Cincinnati, as you know, and that's always been a springboard. You get D'Antonio, comes from UC,
right?
Brian Kelly,
right.
And then,
that was the first. That was the first school outside of it that wasn't a big five at the time, a big four at the time, that went to the playoffs. Cincinnati was.
Right, but it's been a springboard. So that's Cincinnati's not a destination. I hate to say it. I love it.
Jeff Brom's name has been flying up in the air too over there.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, at Louisville.
Well, he was at Louisville, yeah.
Right, he was at Louisville. So that's not a big school.
And the Vandy coach. I think the Vandy coach is definitely.
So basically, you're saying it's a lateral move to go from Alabama to Michigan, right? And not a springboard. If you're at Alabama, why would you want to go to Michigan?
Because I do think, and I'm not saying he's not, having lived in the South for a few years, we are different. I loved living there, but I never felt like I was comfortable, like I was accepted there. And I often wondered if that's the same, if Kalen DeBoer will ever be accepted there. I mean, he's living in that big shadow. He's living in a big shadow. I'm just saying. It is, and it is a big shadow. And I'm not saying he's not capable of winning there, but if they lose on Friday, who's to say Alabama fans aren't going to want to? Remember that lady we talked about, the lottery, said she was going to win her lottery ticket and buy him out, get him out of there.
I'm winning the lottery tomorrow. I'm winning it tonight.
If I win the lottery, I'm spending it on myself.
I ain't spending it on Kalen DeBoer. That being said, Angelique, I appreciate you coming on, being a part of the M Zone. We will talk to you next week, hopefully. We got to go to a break. We come back. We got Clayton
Larry.
on the other side.
Bye, home girl.
You listen to the M Zone on the Big 1050. Thanks, Angelique.
Bye. Only because of Larry. I knew Larry would be there.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, home girl.
He thinks I'm joking, Larry. All right. Be good. I'll see you next week.
Right. You're like holding on. You look at you. You're holding on to look at him. Jesus.
I know. I'm like, oh, boy.
That's my home girl.
Bye. Maybe I'll have a head coach.
Oh, my God. Thank God for that. I hope we have a coach. Do you
Yeah.
have Clayton Safey's number? Derek. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, brother. That's why. Sorry. Don't mean to yell at you. All right, this is the last half hour. Everybody know that, right? I gotta go. My son's got a thing, and I gotta be there. Oh, 10:50. Wow. Oh, wait, that here.
HORES.
Yeah, I get it, but they're not. I don't think these the players are a train wreck. I think the grown-ups. It's the grown-ups. It's not the players. It's the grown-ups.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, and he said he's holding it together, and then he gonna retire. He look tired, dog. And you know what the bad thing is about Biff? He don't like long sleeves. He don't like long sleeves. You know how he cuts his shirts off?
Right.
He cuts them shirts open. He don't like long sleeve shirts. He got to wear long sleeve shirts, and sometimes got to wear a tie.
You got to show off them guns.
Yeah, I guess you could call them guns if you want.
Right.
I'm just saying. I ain't trying to dog him out, but I ain't trying to boast it up either. I mean, I get it.
I hear you.
Woo, Washington Post got something. It says the shame of Sharon Moore. How about that? That was 4 days ago.
Who's that? Washington who?
The Washington Post had an article.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they say, whatever. Oh, 5 players you can't afford to lose. Bryce Underwood, Jordan Marshall, and who told us that Jordan Marshall he's gonna go? Oh, Angelique told us that. Andrew Marsh, Mason Curtis, Cole Sullivan. That's a true statement. Those 5, you can't afford to lose those guys.
No.
Oh, no. I agree with that. How about Jordan Marshall gonna stick his toe in? He gonna stick his toe into into the water.
Who said that?
Into the water. Angelique said that Jordan Marshall gonna stick his toe in the water. He's gonna look at the portal. He wants to see what his worth is. You know what I'm saying? I get it. That's what you do, right?
Right. Well, see that's where I go back to saying, man, Bryce is vitally important right now, man. You know, Bryce.
Oh, we know that. I mean, you got to make him happy all the time. I mean, dude, we got to be on that 24/7.
And you know, if you get him under control, he's got to help you corral the troops.
No, you're right. All right, come on, let's do this.
Yeah. Hey, even so much so that, hey,
hold on,
everything.
Big Sweet. Hold on.
Oh,
Go ahead.
This is the M Zone.
And welcome back to the M Zone. Again, I'm just letting everyone know the M Zone will. We're gonna fold up the tents at 5 o'clock today. I got personal things to do. My son is having his Christmas festival. He's singing, so I need to be there. And I want to thank Big Sweet, and I want to thank Derek for giving me that opportunity to go check that out. It's gonna be cool, man.
Well, that means Philly E and all of them gonna have to wait to get to me, man.
They're gonna get to you tomorrow. I told them yesterday you're gonna get to them tomorrow. And joining us is Clayton Sayfie on this other side. What's up, Clayton? How are you?
I'm doing well. Great to be here, and great to hear you're getting to experience that. That's a cool moment.
No, it is, Clayton. I really appreciate it, and thank you for putting the time in with us. Clayton, it's been I'm going to say it's been a long week for you. I mean, we went from Monday to Monday, and you look at it. You were at for Monday. You were at a thing for the bowl game, and then I don't know where you were on a Friday, but I know there was an arraignment at Washtenaw County courthouse. You know?
Oh, I mean, it's got to be one of the more insane weeks, or what is it? I guess a week from just about right now.
Right.
We would have been the firing of. I don't even remember what day it is at this point, but it's been so crazy. But you got to think, like, what was the craziest situation before this in terms of a coach being fired at Michigan? Probably Gary Moeller.
Yeah, Gary Moeller.
And that pales in comparison to what this is. The head coach was arrested and in jail last Wednesday night after being fired. I mean, so absolutely absurd situation here.
It was, and here's the funny thing: it caught national attention. That's the real thing. I mean, I was thinking this maybe will make the state of Michigan, maybe Ohio, the surrounding states, but this thing went national, and it's crazy, and it went crazy, and then CNN picked it up. Everybody picked it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you got CNN and ABC, NBC, Fox News, like you never want your football program unless they win a national championship.
I don't. Yeah, like you're right. I don't.
You don't want them in that news cycle. So, but it comes with, if this is going to happen, that's the result of it. And it would have been either way had Sharon Moore, not even be arrested. I think it probably would have made those headlines just with the firing, for an inappropriate, relationship with a staff member. So now you look at all that mess, and meanwhile you're trying to figure out who your AD is going to be and who the next head coach.
Oh my God! You just went for the throat, Clayton. You just went right to the throat. So let me back it down just a little bit. That AD's got to pick a new coach. Where are we in that area? What are you hearing?
Well, I think it's important to, and it's not me going for the throat. It's the fact that the athletic department is being investigated.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, for how they handled the Sharon Moore situation. So that's going on. Meanwhile, Ward Manuel is leading a search to find the 22nd head football coach at Michigan. And,
thank you for that number. I did not have that number, and I knew you would, Clayton. Thank you very much. 22nd, Larry. It's number 22.
22. 22.
I didn't even know that was being discussed earlier. But yeah, I like bringing that. It's not that many, really.
No,
coaches. I
for
mean,
as
you've
long
had,
as Michigan football's been around. I mean, come on, really?
well, you had Bo, and you had Moeller and Carr. I mean,
Right.
that spanned, 40 years.
Yep, you're right.
You
You're
had
right.
a really good run.
We had no
problem.
problems. We had no problems when we had those three. Just letting you know.
Yeah. So now you have, this search. And I think that really they're kind of in a bit of a holding pattern right now because as much as nobody down south wants to believe it, they're going to wait out the Alabama game against Oklahoma on Friday night.
So am I cheering? Am I cheering for OU?
I think you're cheering for OU for sure.
Okay.
I mean, you have to, right? Because if Alabama wins, then their next game is January 1st against Indiana.
Right.
And not only would it extend the timeline, but it would also give Kalen DeBoer a little bit more job security or better vibes at Alabama.
He's getting a new contract if they win. He's getting a new one.
I think so. And I think you'd probably sign it, right? Then you feel a little bit better about your situation there. The fan base won't be jumping on you quite as bad. I mean, every time they lose a game down there, it feels like the sky is falling. They haven't adjusted to the new normal of college football, which is, the talent isn't just at a few schools anymore. If you were going to be a backup at Alabama or Georgia, you're probably a starter at Miami or Texas Tech right now. So it's just not the same as it was when Nick Saban won 6 national championships. It's just a different era. So, luckily for Michigan, maybe their fans haven't come to grips with that. When they lost to Florida State, you had a huge reaction from their fan base. So I wonder if that reaction, if they do lose on Friday against Oklahoma, which I think they're going to win, by the way, but if they do lose against Oklahoma, then he sees that hey, I can go to a little bit safer of a spot with slightly less expectations, but understand that you can still win at the highest level of college football with the type of resources.
See, Clayton,
I think we're in a holding pattern right here. You got to wait out that game and then figure out what the next step is.
see, Clayton, that's from my devil's advocate point of view. What everybody's kind of against me about is I'm saying take our time and not necessarily lock into a name guy just because of this. He, as we stated earlier, he's not Saban, and he doesn't have the same scenario under Saban. So he's not. Who's to say he's going to guarantee you a championship at Michigan? So take the time, vet, get what in your mind exactly who you want, the best candidate, and vet them and come up with the guy that can be here several years, because a lot of those same names that get tossed around all the time. The only thing that proves me wrong with this theory is that Michigan is a destination. I can't see it. A coach maybe coming to Michigan to leave to go to somewhere else. Unlike Lane Kiffin leaving Michigan, leaving Mississippi, going to LSU.
Is LA? Wait a minute. Is LSU a destination too?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Clayton. I'm sorry. You can answer, Larry.
No, I think it's all fair points. The only thing I would say is there's no perfect candidate out there. And I think some people
correct
have some.
Thank you. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's what I'm trying to say. There's no perfect candidate. So why do you lock into these same 3 or 4 names? The minute a job is available, the same 3, 4, 5 names come up.
I think that's a great broader point when you look at the coaching landscape this year. How many coordinators received head coaching jobs elsewhere? It was very few this year. And I think a lot of people, especially in this era when you have to rile up your donor base and all that and get the NIL going, is they want to look at coaches who have been head coaches in the past and bigger names, guys that are more notable. Yet some of the better coaches out there didn't have head coaching experience before they took over their big job. Look at Dan Lanning at Oregon. He was the defensive coordinator at Georgia. Kirby Smart was the defensive coordinator under Nick Saban at Alabama, takes over at Georgia and does an incredible job. Ryan Day, as much as we can make fun of him for his, issues beating Michigan before this past season, He was the coordinator under Urban Meyer at Ohio State, and
That-
never a head coach before. So you're
That's
on-
my point exactly.
It's a great point, and that's why maybe this is a long shot, and maybe he should have more of a chance. But Glenn Schumann, the defensive coordinator at Georgia right now, is a name I think people have thrown out there, and he's done an unbelievable job there and elsewhere. Could he be better than a proven head coach? Maybe, but would it excite people as much? Maybe
No,
not, and that's
no.
why.
See, the problem,
I give you another example. Marcus Freeman. If Notre Dame had not taken a chance on a new name or new blood, that man has taken Notre Dame to the championship game, and without being a previous head coach that's being tossed around in the same circles. So, right?
you're right.
You're totally right.
Marcus Freeman was loved by his players, loved by his defensive players and offensive players. They wanted him. What I'm saying to you is that we don't have a Marcus Freeman in our ranks right now. We don't.
Yeah, I hear you.
That was Sharon Moore.
That was Sharon Moore. Exactly. That was Sharon Moore. So
I hear you.
with that being said, with the fan base Michigan has, you need an established. See, this is why we disagree, Larry, is because right now the Michigan fan base, they're looking for steady. They're looking for someone that it's not about excitement. It's about somebody who can control, who brings back the vision. And I'm going to say this, of Bo Schembechler. I want discipline in my players. I agree
1,000%.
That's what they're looking for. We want the next Bo Schembechler now. That's what they're looking for. That's why I said, although Jim Harbaugh did a great thing for us, he did all of that chaos and everything that we had. That tree needs to be over there and encased around a fence, a barbed wire fence, so nobody can get anything off of that tree. No more flowers coming off of that tree.
But Jamie, you say you want a Bo Schembechler, but that kind of we both agree that kind of coaching doesn't necessarily work anymore these days.
All I'm saying to you is I want a Bo Schembechler when not 1969 Bo Schembechler. I need a 2025 Bo Schembechler.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? A guy who hey, he's got a defensive mind. We got to shut them down. We turn the spigot off. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
A guy who, hey, I got to run and pass. I got to be 50-50. I got to be able to throw the ball and run the ball. I got to get my offensive lineman, and we got to move the ball, and we got to be able to pass block. That's the kind of guy.
It sounds like you're also saying, though, you need a name to satisfy your Michigan fan base.
Sure, I do. Exactly. The fan base and the donors need to be atoned. They need to be on a part of what we're trying to do. You make them part of the system. Hey, it's coming. It's coming. You know what I'm saying? Make them part of it. So, Clayton, that sound right?
I think you're right. And I think, Jamie, what you're saying was also said by, radio hosts and people that are tied into the program at LSU, at Florida, at Penn State. That's this era right now where people need to excite their donors so that they can, buy players and get the best roster possible. And maybe it's unfortunate for some of those coordinator candidates out there. I also think the other aspect of this is, like what we mentioned, Sharon Moore was kind of Michigan's Marcus Freeman, the coordinator, young coordinator. The players liked him, and now they're going to try to correct that hire by going with someone who is more proven, that has head coaching experience,
got seasoned,
and that can provide that steadiness. So, and a lot of times it's not right or wrong, but a lot of times the hires, and you see it in many sports, are reactionary, where you had the guy who didn't have a head coaching experience before. Well, now you get the really experienced guy because, we can't experiment anymore with that or whatever. So it's just kind of the nature of how these things work, it feels like. But I agree with you in the sense that, there are some names out there that are not head coaches right now who are going to be really good head coaches in the future, and they're worth looking at too.
No, you're right. But can we, I guess, do we have the time to wait? That's what I'm saying. You got a good nucleus. You can't lose the nucleus that you have. You got players that have gotten seasoning. They've had their opportunity. Like the offensive line, you've got guys that are coming back from injuries. You got guys that have developed and they're ready to play next year and everything like that. You got to be ready to go. You don't have time to not have a guy with the seasoning that a coach on a team that offense or defensive coordinator who doesn't have that experience. He can bring in a good staff. If he can bring in a good staff, maybe. But I'm just saying, you got to have a guy who's got to hit the ground rolling. I'm saying.
Yeah, and maybe you want a guy too that can bring some of his players with him.
Yeah,
we've seen
that
work.
Hey! Yeah. You want some of them Bama players, don't you?
That's a great point. That's a great point.
I mean,
you want some of that.
Look at Kurt Cignetti at Indiana. He brought a bunch of guys from the Sun Belt with him who he knew could play and who he knew could be a part of a really strong culture because he'd been around them for a long time, with his time at James Madison. Look at Dusty May with Vlad Golden last year. I mean,
right.
if that wasn't one of the more important pieces, if not the most important, you could argue, first team All Big Ten standout last year. So that's part of it. You're going to lose some guys, because there are already conversations going on now where you have agents and teams trying to tamper and poach your guys. But you can offset some of those losses and boost what you have with the new guy bringing his own guys with him. So it's kind of that interesting formula that you're going to have to come up with for the roster. But I think you got to get it right in the long term too. More important than what the roster looks like going into winter workouts is what this coach and what this program is going to look like in 2 years and 3 years, because you need this to be a long-term play. Sharon Moore was able to keep the guys intact in the short term after he got hired, yet 2 years later, he's in a white jumpsuit getting arraigned. I mean, you got to get just the right guy in general, and then you can figure out the rest of it as you go along.
I mean, when he caught me at the white jumpsuit. I mean, I'm just saying.
They used to be orange. They used to be orange. What's
They still are orange. They just, in Ann Arbor, we do things our way. I'm just saying, we do things our way. It's a white jumpsuit because we don't like to depict orange jumpsuits. I'm just saying. I mean, they show it in the movies, orange jumpsuits. They show it in real life, orange jumpsuits. Only in Ann Arbor is where they got white jumpsuits. What the heck is that all about?
Isn't that a crazy visual though? Like, I mean, they got the search done after Jim Harbaugh left in 48 hours.
Yep.
Everyone was complimenting them for getting it done quickly, and there was excitement at that first press conference that I know, Jamie, I think you were at.
I was there.
Yeah. Like, there was a lot of excitement, and okay, we can keep this rolling, and all the players can stay, and it felt good. It sounded good in theory that you could keep that going. But then when you picture that, and then you picture what we saw last week, right? It obviously wasn't the right hire.
I don't ever want to live that again. Never. That's like a dream. It's like a bad dream.
And I'm an outsider, but I did look at that picture and go, that picture just delved into your. It was sad to see.
Think about what recruits saw and what they were thinking. I'm just saying, when you look at that, But
Jeremy, think about it. You're a player. That's your head coach. And next thing you know, you're looking. Your head coach is in a white jumpsuit in a cell.
Right. You know what? It's a bad thought. Bad. I gotta calm down.
Woosah, man. Woosah.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for bringing it up.
No, Clayton, you're fine. Look, we got to get through it. It's got to be part of it. It's a position that the man I loved, as much as I love my parents, who had that position, I respected. So he held the same position, and he was incarcerated. It's not his fault, but it's his fault. But what I'm saying is, it's the same position, and you just get it. I mean, look, it's tough.
And you know what? Just being your buddy and being your friend and everything, you were closer to the head coaching position at Michigan than most.
Right. No, you're right. You are 100% right. I worship that man. So with that being said, it's just tough for me to see the head coach of the University of Michigan in a white jumpsuit behind incarcerated. So
Yeah.
I try to talk about it as much as I can because it just hits the heart. It just hits the heart. So Clayton, really appreciate you coming on. I'm sorry for my breakdown. It won't happen again. I promise you that. We won't be talking about white jumpsuit or orange jumpsuits for a while. So just letting you know. And we'll catch up with you next week, okay?
Sounds good. You guys are the best. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks.
All right, Clayton. Take care, man.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get through this without being upset. I failed again.
It's near and dear to your heart, man.
We
it's
got
near
to
and dear
go.
to your heart.
We got to go. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. We will be on the full show tomorrow. I promise you'll get your chance at Big Sweet. I may open up the phones earlier to get at Big Sweet, just to get to it. You're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050. Oh my God. Whew, I don't know where that came from. It's just hit me.
Hey, man.